Welcome to another episode of What'd You Think? It has been a while since we've been here, and, we're probably going to stay that way. We are here just for a special episode, the top films of 2022. I mostly wanted to do this to get together with my co-host, Eric. Eric, what's going on?
What's up? What's up?
And our good friend, Evan, who's, kind of the third party on this podcast here. How's it going, Ev?
What's up, everybody? I'm good. I'm wet.
Yeah, here. So yeah, there's a cyclone going on over there.
We got a little bit of a bomb cyclone over here in LA. It's just wet. It's really just wet. There's no other way to put it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's nothing wrong with being. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that joke. It's we gotta. Let's start off.
I'm a daddy now. Can't say those jokes.
Yeah. But it's I just really wanted to come together just to talk movies of 2022. Now as a father, I really only go to the movies by myself. I watch movies alone. I don't talk to there's text, there's a few movies that come out where we'll call each other and talk about it, or we'll text about it, but it's not the same being in person. We used to go to the movies together all the time, so I just wanted to come together at the end of the year because I think making my top 10 lists of, whatever year is one of my favorite things that I get to do. It's okay, what are my favorites, the best of the best. So I'm just glad that you guys are able to, kind of do this, talk about movies for the next couple hours.
Absolutely, man.
I'm so happy right now.
Yeah.
Very happy.
I
It's
am
hard
too.
making this list, man. That's for damn sure.
Go ahead, Evan.
No, I was going to say, this is the thing that I was going to mention. So I went back when I was making my list and I realized that there were so many movies that I didn't get a chance to see. So some of the biggest movies that happened this year, some of the Oscar contenders, some of the big performance movies, I just never got a chance to see. So I can't put them on my list. So when I was looking through things that I had seen this year, it was a very short list amongst, all of the movies. Let's say I saw 20 movies. That's okay. Then 10 of those are going to have to be on the top 10 list.
Yeah.
So I found it interesting, but I think I went with a list of movies that, I don't know, connected with me in some way. So it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way, man. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I didn't see this. I didn't see that. I didn't see this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, I feel like I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And mini series and stuff this past year. So
Yeah. See, that's
we
one
have
thing
time
I
to
didn't
talk about that. For a few minutes.
Yeah, we could. We'll talk. Yeah, we could talk about some of the best TV maybe at the end of this. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
I honestly I don't watch that much TV. If I do, it's with my wife. On my when I'm on my own, I just watch movies. So
Yeah.
I watched. I'm looking at my letterbox. I watched 70 movies from 2022.
Yeah.
I watched
this past
50.
year.
Yeah, I did 50.
Oh, nice!
Oh,
That's
man.
Which I was
that's
surprised.
That's a solid amount. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I was
a
like,
lot.
And this was a really good year for movies.
It was a
Wow,
good
see,
year
I
for
don't-
movies.
I don't agree at all.
Well,
I think
looking
it's
looking
different.
at
It's
my
different.
list,
Yeah.
different for people. I'm looking at my list and there were only a handful of movies that I thought were duds or just mediocre. No joke, 12 movies I did not like or that I thought were not very good, but 58 of them solid films. A lot of them I really, really enjoyed. So I thought overall it was a good year for film.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's fair. I don't. Yeah. I'm not gonna be negative out the gate.
I mean, you can. I mean, this is what it's all about. We're talking about just our general thoughts on the year. So give your thoughts. Yeah.
General thoughts. So how I'm kind of looking at 2022 is it's definitely a lull year in terms of I think new films coming out. Obviously you have your big movies that came out, but if I'm gonna look at a unique piece of film,
Yeah.
a lot of movies from this year were either based on a true story, a biography type movie,
Mhm.
the third or fourth movie in a trilogy or something. It's just there weren't a lot of hey, this is a whole brand new concept that you've never heard of before and it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
And you could say oh, that's the Nolan thing, but still it's so to me it's not the best ever year we've had. It's a decent year, but I'm gonna give everything like, if you're at like a 75% consistently across the board, I don't find that as good.
Fair.
I disagree with that. I mean, I'm looking at all the movies I watched, and there are definitely some that I thought were unique and had, it's separated. Like I honestly don't have, it doesn't feel like there's too many franchises on here. Like there was a lot of great indie films this year,
which I didn't watch, right? Like
that's why. See, that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If you don't
And
watch,
that's why my opinion is
exactly.
crap.
If you don't watch the indie films, then you're really not giving yourself a full shot.
Yeah, because there's I'll like Eric. I'll show you my list after this. Like there is so many good indie movies. Bodies. Emily the Criminal.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't get to those. Right? I didn't even get to The Fucking Whale, and I'm so upset with myself.
Well, that to be fair, that just came out in theaters like 2 weeks ago. So that's a tough one to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine. But like,
yeah.
So you're right, and that's why I was like, I don't want to be negative because like I know I didn't see certain things.
Yeah.
But just from what I did see, I was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
All right. Got to do better.
I feel the same. I feel the same way though. I wish that there was more stuff that I was able to like, get myself into, whether it be in the theater or watching it streaming or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't have it in me this year. I want to be better with it next year because there's a lot of stuff that I care about. There's a lot of movies that I love watching, and I think that. This year there was a ton of new stuff, and there was a ton of originality this year. But there was also, there was a lot of like, continuations or any of those kinds of things. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what everyone's list says.
Yeah. A lot of the big like blockbuster movies are at the bottom of my list. Like stuff that's like not so great.
Sabita, you're also Frozen.
I'm Frozen.
No, not for me.
Oh, Frozen for me.
It's all good.
Right.
I'm not on my screen, so we're good to go. So
right.
I'm recording on my end, so it's all good.
All good.
Yeah. But now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so
my bad.
Squirrel. So I'm kind of curious, like how I guess we kind of talked about it, but like how did you guys really narrow down like your top 10? Whoever wants to go first.
Evan, go first since you're going to be the first one at the bat.
Sure. Well, I mean, again, so I had a really small pool to pick from in terms of what I actually did see. And then the things that I did see, there was like, okay, well, I kind of like that. I kind of enjoyed parts of this. It didn't completely take me over. And so I think that for me, I just picked, I narrowed down my list to 10 movies that I really connected with this year. And then from there, I was able to be like, all right, well, which ones did I really like more so than others, and so on and so forth. So that's how I did mine.
Nice. Perfect. Eric, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I took a very similar approach. I kind of looked at the whole list of movies I watched, and the first thing I did was judge it on, like, is this a cardboard cutout, like, movie? Mm-hmm. And then if it kind of was, then I just dropped that off right away. Because it's like, that's your typical thing. I was entertained, but it didn't wow me. Doesn't belong on the top 10. And then it was like, does it connect with me? And then it's like, are there elements or aspects of that movie specifically that stood out to me to where it deserves? Right? So that's kind of my criteria that I had for my list.
Perfect. Sounds good. So for me, because I'm such an avid user of Letterboxd, for the entire year I kept a list of every movie that I watched in 2022 and like how I ranked them. So like I already like as of the year progressed, I kind of had my top 10 as I went along, and then now being at the end of the year, it's like, okay, do they still connect with me in the same way that they did when I saw them? If not, what do I remove? And there were some that were like, I would say like one or two that were in the top 10 for a very long time. That I was like, you know what? They just don't like connect with me the same way that they did when I first saw them. So I took them out and like put them on, put some new films in there that I was like, you know what? I still remember like I still think about this movie to today. So I
Yeah.
think, you know, it deserves this spot. So
That's fair.
yeah.
Can we add one little tidbit when we say our movie, and it's like whether or not we saw it once or more than once?
Oh yeah, say yeah, whatever you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your time to
Okay.
shine.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, why don't we just get started? You know,
Let's
I think
jump
that
into
was
it.
good preamble for it.
Yeah.
So let's start counting down the top movies of 2022. So we're gonna do, you know, round robin, right? Is that the correct term to use? We're gonna go
Yeah.
10. You know, we'll count down all together 10, 9, 8. So, Evan, I'm gonna go to you first. What was your number 10 film of the year?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a shocker here, but of all of the movies on this list, all of the movies that I saw this year, believe it or not, this movie made me laugh the most. And when it comes to comedies, man, that's a hard thing to do this time, you know, these days. So number
And
10,
there were not hold on real quick. There weren't many
Yeah.
comedies like at all this
Correct.
year.
Yeah.
Like
There
it
really was
not
not.
a good year for comedies. Yeah.
correct. This one took me completely by surprise. Number 10, Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
So, what's been up with you?
Oh, you know, this, that, other vague things to fill the space of this conversation.
Okay, well, you look the same.
Yeah, thanks. And you look different.
Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done, and it's done wonders rejuvenating my career. I'm actually starring in a play tonight. But man, I tell you, the real hot ticket is Rescue Rangers. There's even some buzz about a reboot. Someone started a Facebook fan page for it and everything.
Crikey, a Facebook fan page? They don't just give those away.
Oh, he's full of it, Monty. No one's talking about a Rescue Rangers reboot except for him.
What? The fans are hungry for it.
Look, I came here to help Monty, not get caught up in some Hollywood nonsense. So, great to take this skip down memory lane, but I've gotta go. Monty, if you're really in trouble, you know how to find me. Dale, you were also here.
Yes.
I can't even explain it, guys. I watched that movie and I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just put it on. I laughed 75% of the time. The jokes were funny. The animation was hysterical. I watched it twice. My girlfriend and I lost it. We were laughing our butts off at that movie. I thought it was so good. I thought it was so funny. And so because it was a comedy, because it was actually funny, I'm going to put that in my top 10.
Yo, that's wow. I was not expecting that.
I
was
know.
not expecting that at all.
I know.
I got like 30 minutes into that movie, had to pause it, and then I never went back to it.
What? Oh man.
That's
So
fair.
like, it kind of lost me. But I did like the Roger Rabbit type element that they did
Yeah.
with it, which I thought was really cool to see that again.
Yeah, this movie like kind of came out of nowhere. Like
Mhm.
I had no idea it was a thing. You know, growing up I didn't really watch Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, didn't vibe with it. But I watched this, I'm like, ooh, I love this approach, especially like Eric just said, the Who's Framed Roger Rabbit, where they brought in all this different IP from everywhere, and like that's kind of hard to do these days. And yeah, I agree. It was generally funny. You know, it's the guys that did the Lonely Island, Andy Samberg, John Mulaney in it. Yeah, loved it. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's streaming on Disney Plus. So,
Yep. That's correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's number
great
10.
choice, Evan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Eric, you go now.
Oh man, I'm so worried to give you my number 10, Z. I'm just gonna watch you when I say it.
Here we go.
All right, so for my number 10 movie for 2022 is Avatar: The Way of Water.
Nice.
All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been a highly anticipated movie. I feel like it was anticipated within the last 2 years, but everyone forgot about it for the 8 years before that. I mean, so it's number 10 because the visuals in this movie are unmatched to anything that's ever been made before.
Yeah.
Like every couple minutes, I'm like, this isn't even like this isn't fucking real. Like this person is not real. But that doesn't like take away from like some of the just lulls in the movie and the storytelling, and it felt kind of cardboard cutout, right? Like felt like a very common already told story to me. So it's on the list because of what it is, but I can't really see it any better than that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
I'll be-
I was gonna say very negative top 10 for your spot.
I was going to say that's one that I didn't get a chance to see in 2022. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunate that I get a chance to see it because I feel like that might have cracked my top 10 as well.
Yeah, you're one of the few people in the world that have not seen it.
I know, believe me, I know.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. Yeah, I can kind of understand some of the story points. To your credit, it does. There is a little bit of cardboard cutout with its story, but yeah, I agree. The visuals are just completely unmatched. You're just watching it like in awe, and like everything just looks real. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
yeah. Cool. So Avatar: Way of Water was Eric's number 9, now in
No, 10.
theaters.
No,
Sorry,
number
number 10. Sorry, we did. Yeah, I was thinking 10, 9. My bad. Number 10.
Off to a banger start.
I know. All right. So my number 10, I'll actually be surprised if, one, you even heard of it or know anything about it, or if you've seen it, of course.
I love Zabita.
But so my number 10 is Triangle of Sadness.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Yesterday, I was up on deck.
Yes.
And it was so beautiful. Everything was fantastic. But then I saw the sails.
The sails.
The sails, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were dirt gray. Do you think it's possible to wash them?
Well, I don't think that's possible, ma'am, because this is a motorized vessel,
Yeah.
so we don't have any sails.
Maybe it was the sun deck roof?
What? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Magnus! Visst var det kritvita segel på de där båten som ni beställde i katalogen? Ja. Yes, he says yes. It was sails.
Magnus says yes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Well then, in that case, we will clean the sails.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
I'm sure we can find a solution for you. I'm sure we'll find out. Can I escort you to a table?
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
Wow.
I haven't seen that one.
So this movie kind of I saw it come out of like the critics and my podcasts that I listen to. Now this movie, what it's about, it's about rich people on a luxury like cruise liner, it's kind of small, it's not anything big, and it's kind of just showing like how they interact with like the lower class. And so it's like it's a comedy mixed with a little bit of drama, not like one of those like laugh out loud comedies, but like it's like that dry humor, which is just so good. If you ever saw there was a highly critically rated movie called Force Majeure, which came out a few years ago. That was fantastic. But like Woody Harrelson's in this for a bit part, but it stars Harris Dickinson and Carl B. Dean, who actually passed away this year at like age 32, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she had like an accident when she was a lot younger that infected her like intestines, and there were some complications with that. So anyways, this movie is phenomenal. It is generally just so funny. It kind of just, it's like class warfare between like the rich and the poor, and just seeing how characters interact with each other is hysterical. This movie just came into my top 10 today because I saw it back in like November, but I think this is the one movie that I can't stop thinking about. And anytime I was looking at my top 10 list, I'm like, I can't stop thinking about Triangle of Sadness, and I actually rated it. Guys, you know me. I rate things on Letterboxd. I only rated it a 4 when I first saw it.
Interesting.
But now, like after sitting with it, I'm like, this movie's like just genius. It's wonderful. So I'm gonna, I'll stop talking there. But like this, I feel like I had to put this movie on the list. Just because I want more people to see it, and I generally like love this movie. So, my number 10 is Triangle of Sadness, and you can rent it on VOD. I rented it on Amazon when it came out. So hopefully it hits like streaming platforms soon, where that's where it's easier to see. But yeah, it's awesome. Definitely check it out.
It looks wild, dude. I'm like watching the trailer right now on IMDb. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a movie where, so people get like, it's not really spoiling much because it is in the trailer, but people get like seasick, and it was so satisfying watching people just get so
that are shitty, like
they were just so nauseated and like just violently throwing up. Like this movie's wild. It's crazy. So
it like not knowing anything about it besides how you describe it and like what I see and everything, it gives me like White Lotus vibes.
I was just gonna say.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say, without even seeing a single frame of it, that's what it sounds like. I'm in for it. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Actually, that's such a great parallel. Like if you like White Lotus, you're gonna love this. Like it is it's very similar. So check it out.
Okay,
that's my making a recommendation list.
Yeah, you know what? Same.
Oh, actually, I meant to keep track of everyone's list, so I'll have all of the numbers after this. So.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Okay, perfect.
All right, so Evan, we are back to you with your number 9.
Okay, number 9, I am going with a Netflix original, Hustle, starring Adam Sandler.
Do you love this game? I mean, love it with your whole heart. Because if you don't, let's not even bother. Let's not open that door. They're just going to slam it right in our face. I love this game. I live this game. And there's 1,000 other guys waiting in the wings who are obsessed with this game. Obsession's gonna be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about? Let's face it, it's you against you out there. When you walk on that court, you have to think, I am the best guy out there. I don't care if LeBron's playing. So let me ask you again. Do you love this game?
Yes.
Is there a newborn kitten purring in here right now? I couldn't hear you. Do you want to be in the NBA? Yes! Well, let's make that happen. Never back down.
Oh my God. I saw that movie. I forgot I saw that movie.
Yeah. So for me, I love, I grew up watching Adam Sandler. I remember his ridiculous comedies and this and that. And, obviously Punch Drunk Love, that was like, oh, we can see Adam Sandler's a good actor again. And then, when, what's the movie that just came out that he was almost nominated for? When Uncut Gem came out, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like everything about it, it was like one of my favorite movies of the year. But then seeing Hustle come out, it's like you're seeing a guy who is so in love with something that he made a movie about it, and he treated it so well because he loves it. So Sandler's, all of his movies are like he's playing basketball. He's got something about basketball. And for him to do a movie and bring in an actor who's literally an NBA star and have him star in the movie, and he crushed it. I don't know. There's something about that movie that like it felt so authentic, and for that, I just really loved it. I thought he was great.
Dude, I'm so with you. I'm fucking mad at myself right now.
Yeah, I actually have not seen this. This was on my my watch list, but I never got a chance to watch it. I've heard great things about it, so I'll have to definitely check it out.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Cool.
Did you like it too, Eric?
I loved it, man. I loved it so much for everything you just said.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, shit.
Hey, that's
Am I shuffling the deck right now, right before my number? No, I can't.
No, we're locked in.
We're locked in. We're locked in.
So, Hustle's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Correct.
What's like real quick? What's like the quick premise about it? I know it's about basketball, but like what?
So essentially, Adam Sandler is I think he's some sort of
like a recruiter or something like that. Like a talent scout.
He's like a talent scout.
Right?
He's a talent scout, and he works for an NBA team. And he goes and he's like trying to find some new player, and he finds a guy overseas, and he brings him in Spain, and he brings him to the U.S. and tries to like essentially vouch for him, and they end up like working together and staying together, and trying to come up together. Essentially, is what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's fucking great, dude.
Yeah, it's super good.
Nice. I'll definitely have to check it out. Okay. So that was Evan's number 9, Hustle, now streaming on Netflix. All right, Eric, what is your number 9?
All right, so my number 9 is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
There's something that Dumbledore wishes to speak to you about. It's a proposal.
All right. You know this is, of course. You had it in Paris. I can't say I have much experience with such things, but it looks to me to be a blood trough. That would be correct. And whose blood is contained within? Mine. And Grindelwald's. I'm assuming that's why you can't move against him.
Yes. Nor he against me.
Can I ask what would possess you to make such a thing?
Love. Arrogance. Naivety. Pick your poison.
I don't know what it is about this movie, but and I guess it's just because I've gotten more into Harry Potter, because Nina's crazy into it, so we've rewatched everything and she gives me all this like extra context. So like it makes the movies better. But like this movie just impressed me so much. And this was like a difficult movie to make because like they got rid of Johnny Depp and like all this other shit happened. Ezra Miller is in this and all that shit going on. But what I love the most is like how they told the story in this, and like they played the chess game in this movie in a way where like you don't really kind of know who's like doing what, and it like just like the whole how Dumbledore played it against Grindelwald. I loved it, man. I watched this shit like 4 or 5 times.
Oh wow.
Like it's just like an entertaining movie. Like I can have it on while I'm working or whatever. And then for everything that this movie had to go through, and it's the 3rd movie in the 2nd Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah.
Like, and to be like this good in my opinion is like fuck yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Nice. I have not seen it. I actually haven't seen The Crimes of Grindelwald either. It's, something I've always wanted to revisit and try to watch because I've heard mixed things on them. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and check them out at some point because I do love Harry Potter. I read all the books, of course, seen the movies as well. So I'm a big Potter fan. But nice. Cool.
Beautiful.
All right, Z. What is
number 9?
Number 9?
My number 9. I don't know if you guys are ready for this one.
A Swedish film.
No. It is an Indian film.
Oh yeah, dude! I wish. I wish.
I didn't put it on.
My number 9 is RRR.
Yep. Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah.
I'm making a change to my list right now.
RRR stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt. So this movie is amazing in every single way. I was hesitant to like watch this movie because so many people were hyping it up.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely just amazing. Now RRR is a 3-hour epic that comes out of India that is now streaming on Netflix. And there is every kind of movie genre like in this movie. So pretty much what the movie's about is like these two guys become friends with each other. But then they find like they don't realize, but they're also like hunting each other, but they become like best friends. So this movie is a romance movie, but when I say romance, it's like a bromance between these two guys, and it's amazing. There's some really phenomenal action sequences in this movie. Probably like the coolest dance number like I've seen in a movie. Like it gets you hyped. Like it gets you so hyped. Like I was watching it, you know, preparing for today. I was dude, yes, Eric's doing the move. Like it is this dance number is just no joke, probably one of my favorite like sequences in a movie of all time. It's long, like at least like 10, 15 minutes, maybe even longer. I don't know.
It's amazing.
But it's fantastic. You know, with the 3-hour runtime, like you think you've seen everything, like, and then they just keep one-upping themselves in this movie. It's nuts. So
it's more ridiculous than Fast 10.
Oh yeah. Fast 10
like
is
shits on it.
Or Fast 9 was Fast 9 was.
Fast 9.
Yeah, Fast 9 was not
Fast
very
9
good.
is like the little kangaroo in the pocket, but this movie is the kangaroo.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
so
like
again, a movie I haven't seen. Not that I don't want to. You know me. I would love that movie. That would be on my top 10 list. Just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
man. That should have been on mine.
So yeah, that's
I ran IMDb or Wikipedia for like release movies, and some reason that one didn't come up on the list.
That's why I got to keep a letterbox. You remember everything that you want.
I just started one because of you, Zabita, so.
He's been telling me for like 3 years.
I know.
Dude, it's just good because at the end of the year, you know what you watch. You don't forget stuff like this. You forgot Hustle. You forgot this.
I know.
You know.
And they're both top 10 contenders.
Fair.
Fucking whatever.
Nice one, Zabita.
Yeah. So yeah, that's RRR now on Netflix. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Amazing movie.
All right, Evan, what is your number 8?
All right, number 8. I went back and forth with this one for a long time, but I'm just going to say it. My number 8 is The Banshees of Inisherin.
Nice.
That's my number 8. Now, here's the thing. I saw it a couple days ago, and as soon as it was over, I was like, I don't like that at all. Like, immediate first reaction was, I don't like this movie at all. I watched it with my girlfriend. We sat down. We ended up having a 2-hour conversation about the movie afterwards. And since then, I have not been able to stop thinking about it. And it's one of those movies for me that's like the performances were so strong. The setting is so interesting. It's so different. It's not like you've seen before. It's like, I don't know. There's so many things that are happening with it. And every time I think about it, I think of a new thing that I really liked about it. So that one snuck in. It would not have made my top 10 immediately after watching the movie. Mm-hmm. But the days after, it really gave me something to fall into.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. That's a great movie. Yeah, Martin McDonagh wrote and directed it. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. Yeah, I loved it as well. So yeah, that was great choice. Yeah. Now streaming on HBO Max right now as well, which is great. Eric, did you get to see that one?
Nope. No, I did not actually.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So it's the same guy that did Seven Psychopaths. Like he's So Martin McDonagh, he did Seven Psychopaths, In Bruges, Three Bellbirds, Outside Ebbing, Missouri. There's another one. There's a few more in there that I'm forgetting offhand, but yeah. Good.
So good.
Good choice. Love it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Performances are just incredible.
Yeah, performances were great. Yeah, they were awesome. All right, Eric, number 8 to you.
All right. My number 8 is The Northman. So this is my number 8, probably because one of the first movies I think I saw in theaters in a while. Like, this came out in April, and like I haven't been seeing a lot of movies, and then this was just like a crazy thing to see in like an IMAX theater. And the visuals were insane, like the fight sequences, it was fucking brutal. Like, Skarsgård is a monster in this movie, like, just like on all levels. And I don't know if it's the same director, but it felt a lot like The Lighthouse.
Yeah, it was directed by Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers, right? Did it? Okay.
He did The Lighthouse and The Witch.
And The Witch, right? So, yeah, man. I mean, this movie just like screams like this is like an epic. Like, if you were to think of like if someone made The Odyssey, right? Like, really good, it'd be like this guy, and it would fucking look like this. So to me, it's like just like the impactfulness of this movie, and you know, it's just fucking badass.
Yeah.
Number 8.
There you go.
Yeah. The Northman, I liked. Wasn't in love with it, but I really did enjoy it. Not my favorite Robert Eggers movie. It's kind of lost me towards like the middle. But beautiful film. I actually did wish. I feel this is one of those where like I think I would have liked it more if I saw it in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Because of just how beautiful it truly was. But yeah, I thought it was solid film. So I really liked it.
Yeah.
Evan, did you get a chance to check this one out?
Didn't see it.
All right.
Didn't see it. Nope.
It's all good.
Again, these are movies that like I need to just catch up on. So I want to watch all this stuff just for the sake of watching.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So that was Eric's number 8, right? I think that's currently streaming on Peacock, if I remember. I always like to share.
It's on Prime.
Prime, actually Prime Video. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was on Peacock for some reason.
It's on the Peacock.
Oh, you know what? Peacock's smart. What they do is they put movies on their platform. Because I remember it did come out on Peacock. They put movies on their platform, but then to make more money they sell the rights to another streaming service and have it stream on there for a while. Because it's like,
oh, interesting.
The majority of people probably already watched it on their platform. So it's like they're just going to make more money. So
yeah.
They're not stupid, man.
No, they're smart. All right. So I'm again, this is another one I'll be surprised if you watched or have heard of. For my number 8. So my number 8 is Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. Have either of you seen this one?
Loved it.
Yeah, right? Okay, great. I'm glad you watched it. So Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. It's a much smaller film, stars Emma Thompson and Daryl McCormack. And this movie pretty much plays out in a play. It is in like mostly just one location the entire movie, and then it kind of moves to like another one. But the premise here is Emma Thompson is in her 50s. She's a school teacher, a retired school teacher. She's widowed, but she never really like had a good sex life, so she hired a sex worker to kind of like fulfill some of like what she's been missing out on. And it's not really what you think. It's not like a movie that's just like sex craze, but like it's like just the two characters talking in this movie, it's just so fascinating and like kind of intoxicating to watch, because like the chemistry between them is just so good.
Yeah.
Like, Evan, you kind of know me. Like, I'm not into movies that are like plays.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally there's them. Like, this must have been like just a COVID movie where it's like, what can we make in like one room with like minimal like people in it, and like this was it. I just thought Emma Thompson was so good in this. Just seeing her like vulnerabilities in it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And this was, I think it came out earlier this summer. I think we watched it. It has been in my top 10 all year long and has not moved. I absolutely adore this film, and that's good luck to you, Leo Grand, at my number 8.
Yeah, I'll just chime in real quick. I loved it as well. People call those kinds of movies or TV shows a bottle episode, where it all happens in one place or takes place in one place. And I, just off the premise alone, knowing that it was a bottle movie for the most part, that intrigued me enough to watch it. And then when I put it on, I was like, yeah, I couldn't look away. Away. It was just very, very, very good movie. Very, very much enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. Like, typically with me, like, I feel like I could get bored easily with that, but I wasn't. I was in it with these two characters. So
yeah. Super good.
Cool. So it's actually streaming on Hulu. So if you can check that one out, that is, very, very good. So, All right. So we are done with number 8. We are on number 7. Evan, what was your number 7?
My number 7 was Good Luck to You, Leo Grant.
Nice. Love it.
For the same reasons, literally for the same reasons.
Oh, wow.
It's just a super good movie. And it's funny because, when we started this whole thing, I had 2 movies that were next to each other. And it was like, okay, it's either going to be this one or this one. And the one that I took out is no longer in the top 10. So it escaped my top 10 because this one, just on second thought, I was like, you know what? This is the one I want to put there.
Cheers. So I've made a list of things that I'd like to get through.
Oh, that sounds sexy.
Don't mock me. I'm a teacher. Old habits die hard.
What's first on the list?
Number 1, I perform oral sex on you. Number 2, you perform oral sex on me. Number 3, we do a 69, if that's what it's still called. I don't know. 4, me on top. 5, doggy style.
That all sounds very achievable.
Oh, does it? Oh, good. Good, because I have no frame of reference. I've tried looking on the internet, but it's alarming, frankly. I mean, if you type in classy porn to Google, up pop 12 windows of erections. I mean, there's no build-up at all. Have I booked enough time?
Same reasons. Literally the same reasons. Just blown away that you could do a movie like that now and keep people's interest. Because I feel like that's almost impossible to do now. So for the exact same reasons, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's so funny. I did not expect either of you to have this on here because, like, I have not heard anyone talking about this movie at all this year, which, like, completely surprises me. Like, I try to, like, recommend it when I can. Like, I think when I watched it, I might have, like, said it to you guys, but, like, I don't think, like, well, I don't know. You and I are in it. I was like, I don't know how many guys are in it, but, like, I feel like it's a really good couples movie to watch.
I was gonna
as
say
well.
this is a movie that Nina will definitely like.
Oh yeah, you guys would love it,
right? Like,
she would love it. Bernice loved it, so yeah,
yeah.
Definitely.
This is on the list. I'm gonna be like, yo, we have a movie to watch.
Yeah, it's
a champion.
Yeah. Put at the top. So nice, Evan. That's awesome. Oh, too bad we weren't in sync with the same number. So
I know. Very close. Very close.
Yeah. Cool. So that was Evan's number 7. Good luck to you, Leo Grand.
Yeah.
Eric, go for it.
So my number 7 is Top Gun Maverick.
Nice.
I mean, probably one of the best movie experiences I've ever had seeing a movie. Visually amazing, surprisingly good for a sequel that's 30 years later, right? Movie embodies the perfect blend of like references and, you know, doing old but making it new, and just like putting stakes in there but not making it absurd. Like, you know, like it felt like no pun intended or whatever, it felt like a really grounded movie, right? Like for kind of what it accomplished. And then the fact that they let Tom Cruise fly like an F-18 is fucking insane.
I mean, look, I the way I look at Top Gun is it is literally like the perfect fan service movie. Perfect. Not overdone, not underdone. No. They hit every point you wanted them to hit, and they did it so well, and they executed it perfectly. So, good shot.
Can't go wrong.
No. Yeah, I loved it. I thought, you know, I was never really a big fan. Like, I liked the first Top Gun, but it was never, you know, one of my favorites. This exceeds it on pretty much every level. Yeah. Top Gun Maverick was, one heck of a theater experience. So, cool. Anything else with that? All right.
What do you got for number 7, Sabina?
Top Gun Maverick was Eric's number 7. And that is now streaming on Paramount Plus, which finally just came out to streaming. It came out in May. Tom Cruise is like, that's, we got to wait a long time. We got to make money. One of the biggest movies of the year, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Actually, it is currently the biggest movie of the year. You know, Avatar is kind of catching up, but Top Gun Maverick took everyone by surprise. So
It's funny how it went on streaming as soon as the Mission Impossible trailer came out.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So my number 7, is Athena.
Okay.
Wow.
Have you heard or seen this one before?
I've heard of it.
Never seen.
Yeah. So Athena is a Netflix movie, and I listened to the Slash Filmcast, well, now the Filmcast, and they've been mentioning it like all the time. And I was like, all right, I'll finally check it out. Now, Athena, what it's about is it's about 3 brothers and how one of their brothers was killed by police officers. And this is a French film, and there's pretty much like a very large uprising after like their brother was killed. This movie is, I think, one of the most impressive that I've seen this year because it's mostly a movie with just long takes.
That's what it's looking like so far.
This movie shits on Birdman, which is like kind of the king of long takes, you know? Like the stuff that they do is so impressive. Like the opening scene is 11 minutes. If you're not hooked to that movie by the end of that 11th minute, I don't know what, like, this movie's not for you then. Like, just, if anything, go watch the opening and you're just going to be, like, blown away. Like, it's just so impressive what they do. Netflix actually has, like, a 30 or 40 minute, like, making of documentary. Oh, wow. I watched it, like, right after I saw the movie. I'm like, I need to know how they did, like, some of these sequences. Like, the whole movie is like that, where it's, like, each scene or sequence is, like, 10, 15 minutes long. Like, it's not like the opening scene is 11 minutes and then, like, you know, it's kind of cut regularly. No, it's they're long sequences, like, you know, throughout the entire movie. And it's very impressive. The acting is very good in it. The story's good. You know, it's a tight movie. It's like 90 minutes, where, like, you know, I think, most of, I'm looking at my list, and I think half of them are like 2.5 to 3 hours long, but you know, it was nice seeing, like, you know, like a tight 90-minute movie. So I loved it. It's dope. It's a really great movie. So that's Athena, and you can stream it now on Netflix.
So awesome. I have a question. So it's a French film. So did you watch it dubbed or did you read subtitles?
It is dubbed, but I kind of like the authentic experience. Like, so I ended up watching it in subtitles.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
Same with RRR. You can actually watch RRR dubbed, but I ended up turning the subtitles on. So
Yeah, I think that's how we watched it with subtitles.
I
think
prefer
it's best to do
seeing
that.
like because seeing a dub version kind of takes me out of
takes
it
you out of it.
a little
I
bit. Like
agree.
I just watched what the heck? I just watched another. All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix. I just watched that as well, and that's dubbed. It just I switched it to German because it just takes me out of it. So
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah. Cool. So that was Athena again, my number 7. All right. So
Great
we
pick.
are at number 6. Evan, what's your number 6?
Okay. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this one. I saw it in Texas with my girlfriend. Wanted to go visit her in Austin, and it was a random thing. We hadn't even seen a trailer for it. We were like, "Screw it, let's just jump in and see this movie." Pleasantly surprised enough that it's made my top 6. Vengeance, starring BJ Novak.
Tell me something that you love about where you live.
Whataburger!
Okay, great. Tell me about it.
You want to go right now?
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Just tell me about it.
You're gonna love Whataburger, Ben.
Oh, it's the best.
What makes it the best?
Wherever you are, there's a Whataburger.
Yeah, it's always right there.
Okay, and then when you get there, what do you like about it? What do you get?
Whatever you want.
You could order whatever you want, Ben.
Right, but there are a lot of places like that. So let's say there's a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Sonic, and a Whataburger all lined up. Which one do you go to?
Whataburger!
Right. Why?
Because it's right there!
Yes.
That is my number 6.
Well, tell us about it.
Okay, so Vengeance.
Give me something.
Vengeance is just really interesting. I'll read off what the just so I can give you exactly what it is here. So the premise is a writer from New York City attempts to solve the murder of a girl he hooked up with and travels down south to investigate the circumstances of her death and discovered what happened to her. Now, here's the thing. He's a writer from New York City, and he's looking for any way to remain in the public eye, BJ's character. And randomly, he gets a phone call that's this girl that he had dated died. But this girl saw him as like the boyfriend, even though he didn't see her as that. So he ends up going down there to like pay his respects and ends up finding a story. And that's what the movie is. And so he ends up finding a story. That story turns into a podcast, so on and so forth. It's just a super good movie. Came out of nowhere. So good.
And he wrote, directed, and starred in this.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write this one down for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, this was on my list to see this year. I never got a chance. It was just one of those I missed, one of the few. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. The premise sounded a lot of fun. And BJ Novak I kind of like just how he acts. Like he's just he's pretty dope. Doesn't look like it's streaming. Oh, never mind. It's on Peacock. So if you want to watch Vengeance, it's now on Peacock. So
Yep. So yeah, that one snuck into my top 6. As I was looking over my list, I was like, wow. Anytime I see a movie that just kind of takes me by surprise, or maybe it's something that like I wasn't thinking about, or wasn't even wanting to see per se, and then I go see it, and it kind of just like, oh wow, this was great. Kind of like how Zabita, you go to movies without seeing trailers.
Yeah.
You just kind of walk in and want to be surprised, and I think that's what this one did to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still try to not watch trailers. I try to not even read premises sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If I heard something is like good, I'll just try to watch it from that. So
I'm happy you watched some trailers. Though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there are some. Yeah, I'm starting to. Yeah, a little bit here and there. So, cool. All right. So that was Vengeance at number 6 for Evan. So Eric, what was your number 6?
all right. So my number 6 was 13 Lives.
Nice.
Somebody's gonna have to come up with something. Rick. Oh, what were you thinking?
Just a crazy idea.
So tell me. Rick, crazy's better than nothing. We've got nothing.
We call Harry.
Harry?
Dr. Harris.
That's brilliant.
Or insane.
Or both.
You know, directed by Ron Howard. It was the mission in Thailand of like the rescuing of the 12 kids and
Yeah, the Boy
coach?
Yeah.
Scouts. Oh, the soccer team.
The soccer team, yeah. So I had no desire to see this movie, and then I can't remember who saw it in our group.
Doug.
Yeah. And then I think after he watched it, and he doesn't like anything, so the fact that he liked it, I was like, all right, Ron Howard did a good job this time, because Ron
He's
Howard
very hit or miss.
is like M. Night Shyamalan, right? It's like very fucking hit or miss. And when I tell you I did not like unclench my butthole this whole fucking time I watched this movie, bro, it was insane. It like the equivalent of anxiety I had watching this movie was like when I watched Free Solo, the documentary of the guy that climbs with no fucking ropes.
Mm-hmm.
But then just like learning that they actually did this and then how they did it.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, this is how we're gonna get these kids out of here. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And then, like,
I'm sorry,
the
you're
whole-
doing what?
What are you doing? It's like there's two moments in this movie. It's like when they first get through, and this isn't ruining anything, right? But like when they do the like timestamps on like where they are and like how long it's been,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, you know, they're like, oh, it took them X number of hours to get to here. And then you're like, wait, what? They were underwater in darkness for 4.5 hours.
yeah.
And then at the end, when they're like, all right, we're going to get them out, you're like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. So just like an incredible story, incredible movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you haven't seen this, it's if you can deal with it and like watch it and feel claustrophobic and everything, like then do it. But if you can't deal with that, then don't watch this movie. 'Cause you'll have an anxiety attack.
Yeah, I love that as well. It's excellent. Definitely one of my favorite Ron Howard movies. You know, it's got Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, Joel Edgerton. Colin Farrell had a year.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that a bit later. But yeah, he had a year. So
I unfortunately did not see this one. Another one
you
that
should
I
definitely
need to
check
see.
it out. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, just kind of learning because you know you heard about the story about in Thailand the soccer team being trapped, but like, and they rescued them. But yeah, seeing what they actually had to do was great. So
yeah, it's on the list.
Magic.
Excuse me. All right, so that was Eric's number 6. All right, so my number 6 film is the 3-hour epic from Damien Chazelle, the director of La La Land and Whiplash and First Man, Babylon.
Yeah, this is on the list. Nina wants to watch this too.
This movie is crazy in all the best ways possible. Like,
Bellissimo, bellissimo. Next time, try softer, okay? But why, my darling Pierre? Why? Well, hey, move that microphone 45 degrees, okay? That one neutral, okay? A ver, no. Hey, amigo, it's not Manuel, it's Manny. Manny Torres, okay? Yeah. Okay, vamos, ya, vamos. Let's roll, people. Let's go. Take 2.
The first like 30 minutes, maybe even more. I don't know. I don't know how this movie's 3 hours long, and it keeps such a fast pace. Like it is always moving. It is always just like the camera's always moving. The actors are yelling at each other. Like, so Babylon, quickly what it's about, it takes place in the 20s when movies are about to transition from silent films to what they called the talkies, film with sound. And kind of how like actors dealt with that. So you have Brad Pitt in this, Margot Robbie, and I forget his name right now, Diego something. I'll get it in a second. But it's, it focuses on Diego Calva, kind of newcomer, but it focuses on them and how they're, all involved with Hollywood. You have Diego and Margot's characters like trying to break into Hollywood, where Brad Pitt is like the top of his game right now in Hollywood. Like he's like super famous. But this movie is just like, it's outrageous. Like one of my favorite quotes that Damien Chazelle, he did a Reddit AMA. Someone asked him, should I take my parents to go see this? And he's like, well, if your parents are into orgies and Tobey Maguire's yellow teeth, then they'll probably like this.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's so good. Beautiful film. I loved it. I can't recommend that enough. Babylon by Damien Chazelle, now in theaters. So if you could see it in theaters, it's a hell of an experience. Like it is a really, it's so tough to get to movies these days, but like if you can, especially a 3-hour movie, like try to check this out in the theater. It's great. So yeah.
Yeah. See, that's another one. That's one that I wanted to see. I love Damien's movies. So that's gonna be right up my alley. He's got a thing with fast-paced things,
Yeah.
It'll be a 4-hour movie and it feels like an hour and a half, So
it goes by fast.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch that one. Again, another one that probably would have cracked my top 10. I mean, look, I'm just saying off of his past work. So, but I cannot wait to see that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Cool. All right, so now we are at number 5. So, Evan, what is your number 5 movie?
Top 5. This was mentioned before, but I'm going Top Gun Maverick at number 5. I mean, look, the reality of it is this movie put butts in the seats. It got people back excited about action movies and excited about being entertained in the theater. And I remember the last 45 minutes of that movie, my palms were sweating. And I think that like there's so few movies that like genuinely drag you in and keep you there the whole time nowadays, because everyone's like looking at their phones or whatever it is. But this is just it's like in the heydays of what a blockbuster could be. This if this movie had come out in the 90s, it would have been the highest grossing film of all time. It would have been, no questions asked. Like this is like the best blockbuster I've seen in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Again, I can't agree more with Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. It's hell of a film. Hell of a film.
I agree. Yeah. We already talked about it, so we can keep going.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm on number 5 now.
Yeah. Eric, So that is again Top Gun Maverick. You can watch it on Paramount Plus. So yeah, Eric, what is your number 5?
All right. So my number 5 is Prey, and that is, I don't even know if you want to call it like the 5th movie in the Predator. I don't even know what number it is, but anyway, it's a movie that came out on Hulu. And it's set during the, what is it, like the 1700s?
Yeah, I think around there.
Yeah, about 300 years ago. And it follows this girl from a Comanche tribe. And it's essentially like a prequel to all the other Predator movies of this thing landing and hunting and doing all this, doing what the Predator does, and I don't know, man. This movie just really fucking impressed me. The fact that it was produced by Hulu, the story it told, it's essentially the story we've all been waiting for. They approached it from like the Comanche tribe, and you're like, there's no way that the people with bows and arrows and spears could combat like an alien with high tech. But I mean, it's just so well done. I love all the callbacks in it to the other Predator films. I think it was really tasteful. I think they made her a really great character. They developed her over the film.
Yep.
And it just the whole movie itself. There was a lot of respect that went into this movie in making it, and it's kind of like a really nice breath of fresh air with the whole Predator franchise. So I loved it. I think I watched this like 3 times or 4 times.
Yeah. I loved Prey. Yeah. I loved Prey. I loved the performance the dog gave. The dog was incredible.
The fucking dog. Bro, my dog watched this movie with me because he was like...
I love Prey. I love Prey as well. Excellent entry into the franchise when the past couple have not been great. We had that Shane Black one a few years ago, which was not good. Actually, rewatching Predators, the 2010 movie, actually... It's
so
really
good.
It's really good. Like I didn't like it when it came out.
Is that the one with Brody?
With Brody, yeah.
Yeah.
So good,
dude. He's like...
he's too thin. He's too thin.
He's like the least interesting part in the movie, but like the movie is actually really good. So,
if you put like Dave Bautista in that in Adrian Brody's role, it's more believable.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Great choice for what was that, number 5, right?
Number 5, yeah. Prey. And that's on Hulu. So
Hulu, yeah, watch it now on Hulu. Check it out. They actually have a Comanche version of it as well. So if you want to watch it in Comanche, you could do that.
Cool as fuck, man.
All right, I gotta get my list back here.
Top 5, Zabita.
My number 5. Excuse me. Coming over a cold over here. Barbarian.
Hey. The laundry's still in wash. But I thought, I'm wide awake, so it's gonna be a bit nut. I thought I'm gonna have some of this here wine, but I didn't want to open it before you got out of the shower because I know so you didn't drink your tea, and I totally get that, by the way. I mean, you don't know me, and this is a really weird situation. It makes total sense, but I thought that you might want some of this, but if I open it while you weren't here, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Jesus Christ. I thought you wouldn't want any if you didn't see me open it. So I waited.
I'm good.
Nice.
God, I didn't watch this one either.
Nice.
Yeah. Barbarian. This movie, wow. This was you're talking about clenching buttholes in the last one. This is like, this movie is so intense. Like, so Barbarian is a horror film written, directed by Zach Cregger. And if you don't know who he is one of the people that founded The Whitest Kids You Know. He acts in the sketches. He writes it. Yeah, this is his first movie. I just listened to a podcast about him talking about the making of this movie. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but like, anyway, so Barbarian, what happened, the premise is, a woman rents a house on Airbnb and she shows up to the house and someone's already staying there. Her name is, I forget, the actress's name is Georgina. Let me get it real quick. Georgina Campbell, and Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise the Clown. He's kind of creepy, but he's already staying there. So there's like a double booking. So the mystery is like, is there something off about him? What's going on? But this movie is like, it goes places that I've never even imagined. It just subverts all of your expectations. you think something's gonna happen and it doesn't. This movie was like wildly entertaining. I'm not a big horror fan, but man, this was scary, creepy, but also like fun at times. Justin Long brings like he's in this, and he like there's also like a fun, like he brings the fun to the movie in like weird ways.
He's been playing that same type of character for like 30 years.
Kind of, yeah. He's actually though a bit different in this movie. But man, I loved it. But Barbarian is fantastic. This one came out and people were like, "Yo, this is nuts," and it definitely is. So yeah, Barbarian's my number 5, and you can watch it right now on HBO Max. Do it. It's fantastic.
So I'll say this: I saw Barbarian the other day. I wanted to catch. That was one of the ones I wanted to catch up on. And I saw it late at night, and my girlfriend was asleep next to me, and I was sitting there watching this movie, and I don't know what I was expecting. I think because I had heard so many people tell me it's not what you expect. So when I hear a lot of people tell me it's not what I'm expecting, I almost didn't know what to like. I was like, I don't know what I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
So I think I would have really, really enjoyed it had I seen it in a theater. Seeing it home, in the experience that I saw it took it off my list. So I think it's something that I would need to watch again in a different setting, or I wish I watched it in a different setting. But that very first viewing, I was kind of like, huh? And then again, another one that as I think about, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was really good. You know what I mean? It's another one where, it took a second for me to like really appreciate it, but I did like it.
Yeah. I went in completely blind. All I heard was that it was really good and that it was about like an Airbnb. That's literally all I knew about the movie. I didn't read the synopsis. I didn't do anything. I just went in completely blind, and I think that's why I loved it so much. So, yeah.
Good one.
Cool. So that was my number 5. So number 4, Evan, where are we at with your number 4?
Number 4 is The Batman. The Batman at number 4 for me. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, this movie was incredible. Like, truly incredible. I saw it opening night at like 11:30 at night, and it's a 3-hour movie. So we didn't get out of the theater until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And, for me,
then you're looking behind you.
I'm saying, for me, as someone in their like almost mid-30s, to be up that late and in a theater and not falling asleep is a testament to the movie. But I mean, I just think that in terms of what they did with this movie, the optics of it, the performances in it, Paul Dano, like, get out of here. The dude's amazing. Talk about having a year. Paul Dano had himself a year as well. So, I think that for the reasons of like, this is the Batman movie that I've been wanting to see. Of all the other Batman movies that have come out, the one thing that's been missing is the part of him that's like the truest part of Batman is that he's a detective, and they fully dive into that in this movie. And I think that like they did it so well that it got me excited about whatever's next.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I'll say that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I loved the Batman as well. I think one of the biggest issue I had with it was like the kind of the ending and the finale. It just didn't sit with me the right way. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by it, but like everything else about that movie, I loved, and I actually like. I need to rewatch it too. Like I really want to sit down and rewatch it, but. I mean, otherwise, like, it was great. I think Zoe Kravitz was great. Robert Pattinson was awesome in it. Colin Farrell, again. He was great. So.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, Eric, what is your number? Oh, the Batman. Can you even stream the Batman yet?
I think it's on HBO Max.
HBO. Yeah,
yes,
it's on HBO.
HBO Max. Okay, yeah, you can watch it on HBO Max. So, all right, Eric, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Nice.
and I know everybody here has seen it. So, this, honestly, I think I watched this on a recommendation from you, Zabita, and it was probably one of the most fun films that Nina and I watched this year. It was just totally out there, but in such like a good way, and it does the whole like multiverse kind of thing with it, but in such a different kind of like just like they just like leaned into it, you know what I mean? And like I think I watched this after Doctor Strange, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what the fuck they should have did with Doctor Strange, right? Like they should have just leaned all in. So I think that's like what enhanced my like respect for the film, is that it was like, yeah, we're just gonna go balls to the wall and tell a really cool story. And Michelle Yeoh is just like a legend. So like to have her be front and center on this is like awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number 4.
Beautiful movie.
Yeah, excellent.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. Really good film. It's definitely up there as well for me. Trying to see if it is streaming. It's on Showtime right now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Showtime.
Yeah, so
There
if you still have Showtime, you can watch it on there. So, Evan, any comments with that?
I mean, I just agree. I absolutely love that movie. I was completely taken aback by it. Yeah.
All right.
Jamie Lee Curtis too was like like great in this movie.
Incredible.
Yeah, she was really good.
Man.
All right, so my number 4. So Eric had this at number 5, but mine at 4 is.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. My number 4 is Prey.
Nice.
Yeah, Eric had this at 5. So
fuck yeah.
Yeah, this was one of like the biggest surprises of the year for me. You know, I had kind of low expectations going into it, but I was also excited because Dan Trachtenberg, he directed it. You know, he did 10 Cloverfield Lane. He also did a really good Black Mirror episode called Playtest. So he had like some talent behind him, but like I think he just did such a great job with this because like he kind of treated every character with respect. For instance, like he gave even the side characters like some really kick-ass fight scenes, like against the Predator. Like, you know, this isn't spoiling anything, but there's a scene where like a bunch of the Comanches are, you know, going toe to toe with the Predator, and like they're really holding their own. Like you've kind of seen in previous Predator movies where you know, people just get like their ass kicked by the Predator. Like nothing can like stop this Predator. But like, since these are like actual warriors who know how to hunt and fight, they really hold their own against the Predator. And I think that's what I really loved about this movie. And yeah, it was fun seeing it take place in the 1700s. It had the lower tech. You know, it didn't have like the laser rifle. It had like a much like
a hatchet
it was just
on a
arrows.
rope.
Yeah.
Yo, one of the coolest so many cool scenes and shots.
Yeah, she had the Amber. Her name is Amber Midthunder.
Incredible name.
Yeah.
Midthunder.
Yeah. She did a fantastic job with this. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, but such a fun movie. Love the callbacks to it. I really want to rewatch it because I mentioned before there is a Comanche version of it.
Yeah.
I've been really wanting to rewatch it in the Comanche version. I didn't find out until after I watched the movie that Hulu kind of had it in their settings, so I need to check that one out. But Prey's on Hulu. Check it out if you're a fan of the Predator franchise. So. That's my number 4. All right.
Guys. Top 3?
Top three now.
My God.
Okay, guys. My number 3 is done by a master. It is a master storyteller telling his own story. The Fabelmans at number 3 for me. I went to go. I put this movie on the other night, and I was like, literally was having a day where I was like, you know what? I'm uninspired. I had a lot of stuff happen because you guys know, I'm in the film industry. I had some like conversations that weren't so great and like things that were just kind of like bogging down in my mind. And I was like, I really need to be inspired right now. And I know that Spielberg is one of the first people to ever do that to me, like by watching films. So I put that thing on and I was hook, line, and sinker from the beginning. The opening shot, I was hook, line, and sinker for that movie. The performances, again, Paul Dano, my God, the range of this guy. The kid was amazing. Both kids that ended up playing him. The mom, Michelle Williams, was amazing as well. It just like all the performances put together, the way that they told the story, it's freaking Spielberg, man. It's just so good. It's so good. And so for that, I put that top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like everything you're saying, I totally agree. This movie pulled us in when we watched it. Couldn't look away. Totally captivating. All the performances are perfect, dude.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that it's like he made a movie about himself, but like he made this family to make it probably easier for him to tell the story, right?
I just listened to a podcast, the Directors Guild podcast he was on, and a lot of like the beats that happen in the movie like happen to him in real life. Like,
I believe
pretty much this movie like is like this is his life. Like he changed a little things here and there, but like he talks about like, yep, this happened. I loved it as well. Not one of my favorite Spielberg movies. I think to me it loses steam in the second half. The first half is like perfect. But then, there's kind of this transition point where it just didn't do much for me. But otherwise, I thought it was a great film either way. Yeah, Spielberg was awesome. So So that's Evan's number 3, The Fabelmans, and it is not streaming anywhere yet. You can actually rent it at a steep price for $20 right now, but you might be able to find it in a theater. So all right. So Eric, what is your number 3?
So my number 3 is The Fabelmans.
Yes, I was waiting to see if we were going to get one on the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I want you to make a camping trip movie. You can learn how the editing machine works while you do this. It'll make your mom feel better.
Yeah.
That last night when she danced in the headlights, that'd be great. Get to it tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow's when we start shooting. Escape to Nowhere. We're shooting all weekend,
Shooting
Dad.
next weekend.
We got like 40 guys coming to be in the movie. I'll work on all the camping trip stuff on Monday.
I'm asking you to do this now for your mom.
Yeah, and I said that I will, just not tomorrow.
Don't be selfish. She just lost her mother. That's more important than your hobby.
Dad, can you stop calling it a hobby?
It'll cheer her up watching this. It's something we can
Her
do.
mom just died. How is that going to cheer her up?
Because you made it for her.
Yeah, like we watched this I think like a month or so ago, and it was just incredible performances, and like I said before, just captivating.
Yeah, absolutely.
The woman that plays his mom, what's her name?
Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams. She's like so good, dude.
Hell of a
she's so
performance.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then Evan Paul Dano is just
good.
The range, and then even Seth Rogen in this, dude. Like for the little bit that he was in it, like I like seeing him in shit where he's not doing fucking fart jokes and being a pothead. So I'm down. Judd Hirsch made another nice little cameo there. That was a nice little 15 minutes. He was great. Can't say anything bad about this movie at all.
Nice. Yeah, Fabelmans. Yeah, it's great to see that the two of you synced up with that one. We finally got one on the list.
Finally got one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, my that was Eric's number 3, The Fabelmans. My number 3 is The Fable. Just kidding. It's something. You guys,
lost it.
You guys are going to be surprised at my number 3. My number 3 is Avatar: The Way of Water.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. So, you guys know me. I am one of the biggest Avatar fans. I love it. I have just been waiting years and years to see this. I saw the original like 4 times in the movie theater. I kept bringing other people back to see it.
Yeah.
I've now seen Avatar twice in theater, and I hope to go back at least one more time, just because like Eric was talking before, like those visuals are just incredible. And like,
yeah, they're insane.
I want to talk real quick about like formats, because when I saw it with Eric, we saw it in IMAX 3D. And one of my biggest issues was James Cameron uses high frame rate. So he has, the movie shot in 24 frames per second, but also 48 frames per second. That's going to give it that more realistic look. In IMAX, the transition between those 2 frame rates were not very good. It was actually really jarring and took me out of the movie.
I didn't even notice.
I noticed all the time, and that's one of the biggest things that kind of detracted me from the movie. But I then now saw it on a smaller screen that had the high frame rate. Didn't even notice it. Like the transitioning was like a lot better. But I highly suggest if you can watch it in like high frame rate either way, just because it looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't feel like this was too much of a cookie cutter story, as Eric put it before. People are saying it's kind of similar to the first movie, which I don't know. I didn't see that. I thought it was it felt very different to me. There's still the Jake Sully and Quaritch kind of going at each other. They brought Quaritch back, but I love how the aspect was shifted more on the family. I loved just being immersed into the world of Pandora, learning more about like the water. And, the second hour is pretty much them just like doing stuff in the ocean. I'm like, yeah, I'm all in on that. Like I absolutely loved like all that stuff. The last hour was like an amazing, like just battle sequence, which was so badass. James Cameron he just knows how to make like a very entertaining battle sequence.
Yeah, he does.
I'm so excited to see where this franchise goes. This movie is just already, I think I just read the 7th highest grossing movie of all time now. So, it apparently it did break even now at 1.4 billion. Has more than that. But I love it. I just, again, I can't wait to see just where this movie goes now, because I'm hearing like just crazy things of what might be coming in the next few movies. So Avatar, The Way of Water at my number 3.
And real cool, quick little side note, one of our high school friends was a camera operator on Avatar 2 and 3. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave. So, question though, like, didn't he film everything for all the next movies?
He did 2 and 3 at the same time.
He did 2 and 3
So
at the same
3,
time?
3 is pretty much in the can. Everything is shot and done. They're just doing post-production on it now, so like they're just finishing all the VFX. And they shot some of 4. I don't know how much, but he said they shot some of 4. So
like, for him to break even of 1.4 billion, does that mean like just for 2, or is that like the 2-3 joint?
It's got to be joint.
I took it as joint because he did it together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next movie's all gravy. That's pretty good.
I
Pretty
think
much.
that's what I would.
Yeah.
That'll pay for 4 and 5. That's what
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's probably how he sees it. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, I know I was like kind of negative in it being my number 10, but I just I don't know. It's like I love James Cameron for like a lot of that he's done, and he definitely like has changed the landscape of filmmaking just across the board.
Yeah.
It's just like he's made sequels before, and this one feels like to me, like the more, not like out, like the story didn't it didn't hit as much as like T2 or Aliens, like
Yeah.
if that makes sense, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it kind of felt like this one might have been like also reintroducing us to Avatar, you know.
Yeah.
Just because there
And
was
it
such
was.
a big gap. So.
it had
Yeah.
a lot to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like I'm kind of like I'm just like I'm holding him to like a high standard, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. We should hold him to a high standard just because
Absolutely.
of his
Right.
track record. Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
guys.
So
Top.
that was my number 3. So that is now in theaters. Definitely watch it. To me in 3D. I think you got to watch it in 3D.
Yeah.
So. All right. So Evan,
Top 2.
what is your number 2?
All right, guys. Number 2 for me is Prey.
I need to get me a horse. It's coming. Can you get your side loose?
Wow.
I've got Prey at number 2. Now, the reason I have Prey at number 2 is the exact same reasons all you guys have, right? The same reasons. But for me, again, for someone who used to go to the movies every weekend to now, whenever I can, if I'm sitting at home and I'm watching a movie, I got my phone on, I'm looking at something. My brain is 100 different other places. Of all of the movies that came out streaming this year, this movie is one that I wish I saw in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because
I wish it was not streaming.
That's what I'm saying. It was a movie that I was like, wow, I would watch this in a theater. I would take everyone to go see it. I ended up recommending this movie to numerous amounts of people who ended up watching it and thinking the same. And all of the reasons, seeing again, for me, when I grew up, T2, favorite movie of all time, still is, right? Now, when I watched that movie, what I saw was a very strong female character that could hold her own and didn't need, any help, essentially. You didn't need a guy to do her bidding for her. And so I have a soft spot for those kinds of movies that do it well. They don't shove it in your face. They just like, check this out. This is a badass chick. She can handle her own. Watch what she does. And then
T2, Aliens.
Exactly.
Done.
And then to see Miss Midthunder in this role, I don't think I'd ever seen her before in anything, and for her to come in and just completely command the screen, and she was, in my opinion, one of the top 3 badasses on all film this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally agree.
I put Prey at number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Dude, this was a movie I watched, and then I felt the same way, and I was like, Nina, you got to watch this movie.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to watch this. Like, it's going to be all just fighting and blood. And she's like, I don't want to see it. I'm like, just watch it. I'm like, please, you'll enjoy it. And she was hooked. Like, after the first 20 minutes, she was like in it. No phone, nothing. Like, watching it. And at the end, she was like, that was fucking cool. Like, I'm like, that's right.
So good.
That's right.
So good. So yeah, that's number 2.
Nice. I'm glad we had I think, is this the first movie where
All 3 of us had it on the
it's
list.
all 3 of us on the list? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, nice.
I like that we've all been pretty different from each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't have any French films on my list, but I love you, Zabita.
All right, cool. So that was Evan's number 2 film, Prey. So Eric, what is your number 2 film?
So my number 2 film is The Batman.
I'm giving you a chance. No one ever gave me a chance. Now, ever since I was a child, I've always loved little puzzles. For me, they're a retreat from the horrors of our world. Maybe they can bring some comfort to you too, Mr. Coulson.
You want me to do puzzles?
3 riddles in 2 minutes. You give me the answers, and I'll give you the code for the lock. Do you understand?
Okay, so I just, you want me to...
Riddle number 1.
Nice.
Because...
Nice.
I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious.
I thought that was gonna be your number 1, to be honest.
No, honestly, until very recently, it would have been genuinely like. And when I say recently, I mean genuinely. But to me, this is one of the best like comic book adaptation movies put to live action I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like just cold, like full blown. Like, and especially with like the Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 coming out on HBO.
So good, yeah.
And then it's like, and this then coming out and it being like the same aesthetic and everything like that. It just, and then all the acting in this movie was top notch.
Yeah,
all of it, like every single person. Colin Farrell, unrecognizable as the Penguin.
Completely.
What's her name? Zoe Kravitz, the perfect Catwoman. Paul Dano, perfect Riddler, and then Robert Pattinson coming in with all the adversity of like what people think or whatever, just kills it as Batman.
Yeah,
and like you said, the best representation of like the detective Batman, but a young Batman, not making him perfect. Like, which was a great aspect of the movie. And then Jeffrey Wright is,
Gordon. He's incredible.
Jeffrey Wright in anything is just incredible. So,
my goodness. All right.
All right, Z, give it to us.
Yeah, great. So yeah, that was Eric's number 2, The Batman on HBO Max. I don't think we mentioned yet that, did we say it was directed by Matt Reeves, who probably has the best track record right now.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
So I just want to talk about that real quick. So I'm trying to bring up his.
I got it.
You got it. Okay. So yeah, he's got. Okay, so he did. I first found him because he did Cloverfield. Then he did the remake of this, I think, Swedish film, Let the Right One In, but he did Let Me In, which was fantastic. Then he did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which was amazing. War of the Planet of the Apes, which was amazing. Like, he's got a really good track record.
Yeah.
He's also involved in a book that probably my favorite book that I read this year. He's involved with like the Netflix adaptation of it, and I'm like, oh my god! So I'm like really excited about that. But anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to shout out Matt Reeves just because he's still like just doing amazing work. So
yeah.
Do you know? Okay, so a fun fact: Matt Reeves wrote Under Siege 2: Dark Territory.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
That's amazing.
That is impressive.
That is incredible. Sorry. I saw that. I'm like, there's no way.
It's all good.
That's awesome.
All right, Z.
All right.
Steven
So let's get to my number 2 now. Now this movie was like the most personal, I think, to me. It's already been mentioned on the podcast tonight. The Banshees of Inisherin is my number 2 movie this year.
Now, I'm sitting here next to you, and if you're going back inside, I'm following you inside, and if you're going home, I'm following you there too. Now, if I've done something to you, Just tell me what I've done to you. And if I've said something to you, maybe I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it, but I don't think I said something when I was drunk and I've forgotten it. But if I did, then tell me what it was. And I'll say sorry for that too, Colin. With all my heart, I'll say sorry. Just stop running away from me like some fool of a moody schoolchild.
But you didn't say anything to me. You didn't do anything to me.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like.
I just don't like you no more.
You know, when I saw this movie, just watching it, it came at a time in my life where I was like, was this movie like made for me right now? Like it just really spoke to me. Cause like the premise of the movie, you know, it stars Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, and it takes place in like 1912 Ireland on like an island off of Ireland. Like there's a civil war going on. So it's a very small, tight-knit community. And one day, you know, Colin Farrell's character is trying to figure out why his like good friend just doesn't want to like talk to him. Like doesn't want to like have anything to do with him anymore. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away. And I can't say why I felt it was personal to me because it's a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to mention it. But it just... I was like, oh my God, this movie is just, you know, just fantastic. I mean, all of the performances are great, especially like Kerry Condon, who plays Colin Farrell's sister in this movie.
She was amazing.
Siobhan. She was so good. And she needs to get supporting actress for like the Oscars this year. She was so damn good.
Yeah.
But you know, Colin Farrell, like we talked about how he had the hell of a year. He had this, the Batman, After Yang, and then 13 Lives, like 4
Amazing.
Really good, critically acclaimed movies. I didn't get a chance to watch After Yang, but I heard that one was really good. And he was great in this. This movie is it's a very simple story.
Yeah.
But then it starts going to places where it's like, what is happening right now? Like it kind of just goes, it gets weird, but in like the best way possible. I mean, Martin McDonagh, he's so good at writing, like, I guess you could say dry comedy.
Yeah.
You can call it that. He's just a great writer. But I absolutely love this movie. It has always been at the top of my list. Since, you know, I've seen it. So yeah, that's The Banshees of Inisherin on HBO Max.
Beautiful. All right, we're going number 1.
Number 1 now.
Oh, I wonder if we have the same number 1.
Oh no, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm really curious because like
don't think so.
So before we get to number 1, I want each of us to just count down what we had already, just to do a quick recap.
Okay.
So Evan, just starting from 10, go down your list again.
Okay, so at number 10, we had Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. At number 9, we had Hustle. At number 8, we had The Banshees of Inisherin. At number 7, we had Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. At number 6, we had Vengeance. At number 5, we had Top Gun Maverick. At number 4, we had The Batman. At number 3, we had The Fabelmans. At number 2, we had Prey.
All right. So Eric, what was yours again? Actually, you know what? We'll
do it for
do
each
your
of
number
us.
1.
We'll do it for each of
Yeah.
us. All right, guys.
Okay.
My number 1 movie for this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it is by far my number 1 favorite movie this year.
Listen, you're only using the other words that require special skills, do you understand? If you fall for the temptations, you invite contradiction, chaos. The clay pot could shatter and you could die. Or far worse.
What can be worse than death?
We should keep moving until we catch it.
No. Enough of your clay pots, cream cheese, no cows. Explain it all to me now.
You're right. In the Alphaverse, we began training many young minds to verse jump. But there was one who was far and above the most gifted. Our little explorer. You saw her potential, so you pushed her beyond her limit.
I think the biggest reason why this is my favorite movie this year is because normally when you go see a movie, you don't get to experience every emotion. You get to experience like, okay, this is a comedy, you're going to laugh, you might cry, right? Mm-hmm. Or this is a sad movie, you're going to cry, you might laugh a little bit, you know, or you might be shocked, or there might be suspense, This movie had every single film genre done perfectly in each little moment of the film. And to what you said, Eric, about Doctor Strange, I saw Doctor Strange, and I was so let down because I had seen Everything Everywhere All at Once first.
So that probably even made it worse.
Dude, so I watched that, and then I went to go see Doctor Strange, and I was like, oh man, I cannot wait to see it. And I was like, okay, so what? No, that was already, that's not, everything did it perfectly. Michelle Yeoh, generational performance. Bringing back, I want to get his name right, from...
Short Round.
Yes, let me get his name.
Daniel Ke Quan?
Yes, yeah. Daniel, having him come back and do this performance, it's as if he never left. Like it was written, it almost felt like it was written for him. And then to have someone like Jamie Lee Curtis to like round off that cast, she was incredible. Obviously, it was incredible. But I think for the reasons of this movie being essentially a bunch of different genres in one movie, and then the most oddest thing, I don't know if anyone has seen it, if everyone has seen it. I think all of us have seen the movie, but
yeah, I've seen it.
The rock scene, let's just call it that. Hilarious, yet also extremely introspective.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I remember thinking like, this is absurd. And then thinking, whoa, this is absurd. You know what I mean? And I thought that was so amazing. So for that reason and those reasons, Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number one.
Perfect. Yeah. Again, excellent movie. Eric, you had it at...
I had it at number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Yeah, it's great. So I think we said it was streaming on Showtime, if I remember.
Yeah, Showtime.
So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good pick, man.
Glad you loved it. Excellent number 1. I was just listening to the Slash Filmcast. That's my favorite movie podcast. There's 3 hosts. They just counted down. All 3 of them had this movie at number 1.
Oh, wow.
All 3 of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Their lists were very different from each other, but they all they don't show each other.
This one.
They don't show each other their lists, but they agreed on this movie. Yeah. This was at the top of many people's lists. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. So Eric, countdown
my top
from number 10. Yeah.
All right, so I had number 10, Avatar: Way of Water. Number 9, Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. Number 8, The Northman. Number 7, Top Gun: Maverick. 6, 13 Lives. 5, I had Prey. 4, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 3, The Fabelmans. 2, The Batman. And for my number 1 pick, I picked Devotion.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Like
205, I still have ordnance. I can hit the bridge. It's 200 AA, 211. Stand down. Jesse, stand down. That's an order.
So
wow,
this movie.
Not expecting that.
Not expecting it either.
So
talk about it.
I'm not gonna lie at all, but we watched this yesterday on a whim. I was not expecting to watch this. I never heard of this movie before. Another thing, Doug was like, has anybody heard of this? And blah, blah, blah in the group chat. And I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
And I like war movies, but I don't like run to watch them or see them because they, whatever. But this one from the beginning, from the opening, like little like words that they put up, it's about the Korean War, dude. And my grandfather was in the Korean War, and there's not shit about that war made. It's literally called the Forgotten War.
Right.
So within the first 30 seconds of this movie, when it's about this war, and then it was even about the 1st Marine Division in the Chosin Reservoir, which is what my grandfather was in.
Oh.
And then like everything about this movie, dude, I watched this shit just like mouth covered yesterday. And then the acting from Jonathan Majors, and then someone else who's having like a pretty good like
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Like their acting across from each other in this movie was insane.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Like Jonathan Majors was like amazing in this movie, dude. His way of like showing emotion, but like not showing emotion, was just like it was just like a movie that hit me on so many levels.
Yeah.
And it's similar to you, where you're like you feel multiple emotions in a movie and it's hard to do. It's like this is like a war movie, right? You're supposed to feel happiness, pride, thrill, like loss, love, like all this stuff. And it's like it does it in such a great way on so many different levels, on so many aspects of society, history, and like all this shit, man. And it's like a movie I had never heard of until yesterday. I watch it, I'm like fucking thrown. Just fucking thrown. And it dethroned my whole list. I was like, there's no way this isn't number one.
That's
There's
amazing,
no way.
man. That's amazing.
I can't wait to check it out now.
Like incredible, man. Like for me, like this just hit my heart.
I think that's the thing. That's what I love about movies, man. This is my favorite thing about movies. Like we could sit here and argue about whose list is what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whose list is whatever, because the thing is, it's what connected with you, right?
Yeah.
And because you have that experience, because you have that, like your grandpa and like all those stories and all of that stuff, like in the back of your head, to then see a movie that showcases that. Yeah.
Well, right. And
no question.
While we were watching it in the beginning, Nina like didn't know all of this stuff about my grandpa, so she's like, "Wait, pause it. Like, tell me." So like I'm telling her about it. She's like, "What?
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking serious?" She's like, so she had like no idea, and I'm like, "Yeah, like they went through all this shit, and then seeing it like 45 minutes later represented in the movie, and her just looking over at me like, what?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Is there anything about the Korean War, like a documentary or like?" It sparked a whole conversation about my grandfather, right? Like, which is like what you were saying before with you and Bernice.
Yeah.
You're like, we talked about this movie for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
And now like this made me connect with my fiance, like on something that we hadn't. Like it's beautiful just in that respect, right?
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
It's fucking number one, bro.
I love that. I love that. I love that, and I love that for those reasons.
Yeah.
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 Like just this movie just tore me up and put me back together, man.
Love it.
I wish we ended on that note instead of what I'm about to say. So.
Oh boy.
Well, that's great. I can't wait to check it out. It literally just started streaming like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It is what the heck was it on? Paramount Plus. It just started streaming on Paramount Plus. So cool. So that was Eric's number one, and that was Devotion. All right, so my top 10, to count down real quick. Number 10, I had Triangle of Sadness. Number 9 was RRR. Number 8, Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. Number 7, Athena. Number 6, Babylon. Number 5, Barbarian. Number 4, Prey. Number 3, Avatar, The Way of Water. Number 2, The Banshees of Inisherin. And number 1, Top Gun Maverick.
Wow!
Wow! Well, this is because Matt loves like beautifully shot films.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not even that.
I really thought it was gonna be Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really thought it.
I thought that too. After Avatar, I was like, oh, well,
Before I get to Top Gun Maverick, I had Everything Everywhere All at Once at number 7 or 8. But I've been thinking about taking it off for the past few days, just because, like, thinking back on that movie, like, I loved it. That's a phenomenal movie, but like, it didn't sit with me the way all of these other movies had.
Sure.
I felt more connected to all those other movies.
Yeah.
And that's why Triangle of Sadness, I pushed Everything Everywhere All at Once, because Triangle of Sadness, I can't get that fucking movie out of my head.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm just like, yeah, I love that movie, but it just didn't connect with me as much as it freaking
Dude,
badass of a movie it was.
Watching season 1 and 2 of White Lotus, I can't shake those like. Especially
I'm excited to see this Triangle of Sadness movie.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it now, because if it's anywhere close to that, I'm fucking.
Yeah, it's really good. So
okay, so wait, go tell us about.
Okay, Rooster, get us in touch with the boat.
I'm working on it. Radio's out. No radar. Everything's dead back here. What do I do? Talk me through it.
Okay, first the radio. Throw the UHF-2 circuit breaker. Try that.
There's 300 breakers back here. Anything more specific?
I don't know. That was your dad's department.
I'll figure it out. Mav, tally 2, 5 o'clock low.
So yeah, Top Gun Maverick. This has always been my number one for the longest time. I am all about just having a great theater experience, and this was like one of the best theater experiences. Just watching this movie play out. I went to go see it in IMAX, and oh man, it's like watching.
Did we see this? Did we see this together?
We might have. I honestly remember.
Think so.
But I was all in. Like, I just love real filmmaking like that.
Yeah.
Just knowing that like the cameras are just set up in these cockpits. The actors are going through all of this. It's some of the most tense action sequences of the year. Tom Cruise, one of my favorite stories that I heard, I listened to a podcast, and, this was reported on, but the director, Joe Kosinski, who did Tron Legacy, Oblivion, Only the Brave, he's a really good visual director. And my favorite story is how he got Tom Cruise to do this movie. And Tom Cruise was filming Mission Impossible, and Paramount had asked Joe Kosinski to like take a look at the script, and Joe put all of his own notes in it and, kind of made it more his. And he flew to Paris to go meet with Tom while he was filming. And the night before they were about to meet, Tom's like, Joe, no matter what happens, it's going to be really good to see you. Because for the longest time, Tom Cruise he did not want to do another Top Gun. I had rewatched Top Gun before I watched this new one. And in the special features, Tom Cruise says, we're not going to be doing another Top Gun. This was like 2016. But anyways, Joe Kosinski meets with Tom Cruise the next morning, pitches him the idea about how he wants to make it more of an emotional storyline, how he wants to make it him trying to connect with Goose's son, Rooster, in this movie. Tom Cruise, at the end of the meeting, calls the fucking Paramount executives, is like, yeah, we're going to make a Top Gun 2. So that's going to happen. And he like greenlit a movie right then and there because, that's because it's Tom Cruise. And I think that's what connected with me is just like the emotional storyline of this movie. Everything with Iceman in this was great. How he's like the guardian angel. Tom Cruise was excellent. Like he deserves everything that he got. There's a reason why this was the biggest movie of the year, just because of how entertaining it was. People want to see these just real movies. We're all getting, I think all three of us are getting Marvel fatigue. There were a bunch of Marvel movies this year. 2 or 3?
3.
3 it was Black Panther, Thor, and Doctor Strange. No one had, especially Eric, No one had any of those movies on our list.
I didn't even see Black Panther.
It kind of just shows like the quality of like how that's a different conversation, but it's just nice seeing like a real movie. And this was I saw it 3 times this year. I loved it. It's the most movie that I don't really rewatch movies that often, but it's the most rewatched movie I had for this year, and I absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to just watch it again and again. And Eric, you kind of talked about like the callbacks, the fan service, or maybe it was Evan that said that. The fan service is so good. The intro is just like the Top Gun in the beginning, the original Top Gun. The music is so good. There's nothing like, nothing I've seen this year compares to Top Gun Maverick. I love it. I absolutely
Such a fun movie. Just like fucking bucket of popcorn and a soda. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
so good.
100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So good.
All
So
there's our lists.
There is our list. Those are our top 10 of the year. Guys, it's been awesome counting down with you. So, we were going to try to keep this at like 2 hours. So I want to kind of go through quickly. I had some like special categories.
Yeah.
So, we'll kind of do like some rapid fire for that. So you guys filled out your special categories?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Eric, you good with yours?
Very excited about these.
Okay.
I'm very excited about these.
Yeah, I thought that would be fun to kind of to bring in. So, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start by favorite movie that was recommended to you.
Okay.
So again, we'll do the same order. Evan.
All right.
Again, we'll keep it. You just keep it really short.
Yeah, we'll be quick. This movie was recommended to me by my friend Andrew Gall. It is a documentary, and it is called Stutz.
Ah, I want to watch that one. Yeah,
it is about Jonah Hill's therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It's
on Netflix, right?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
It's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
the one on Netflix. Okay.
I can't, like, it was one of those documentaries I put on. It was just like, yeah, okay, he told me I should watch this. I put it on, and I was blown away. I learned stuff in that, like, that it was just incredible. So yeah, Stutz.
Sweet. Eric, what about you? Favorite movie that was recommended to you?
And who it was recommended by?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was you, Zabita, The Menu. Yeah. And I know the other day when I watched it, I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this movie, but it's like, that's exactly what the movie's supposed to do, is make you feel very unsettled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And now I'm kind of like, I feel like the ick about watching like cooking shit, like pretentious cooking shit. Now I'm like,
I watch Chef's Tables. I'm just like, man, the Menu ruined the show for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Which like I love like my YouTube cooking people, so like
sure.
I stick to those. Like
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna watch anything like Iron Chef or whatever fucking bullshit show anymore. Again. So yeah, The Menu.
Cool. All right. So for me, my favorite movie that was recommended. So Doug actually recommended it. You already mentioned it, Eric. 13 Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't in a big rush to see this. And I was actually just going to put it off. Like I was like, I'm not going to really bother. But I watched it. Absolutely loved it. So tense. I ended up watching the documentary that came out last year. Jimmy Chin, and he actually directed Free Solo. I can never remember his directing partner's name, but they put together the documentary on Disney Plus. But yeah, love 13 Lives, really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Evan, movie that disappointed you the most?
Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh,
my God.
I didn't even waste time on it.
Let me just say, okay. The trailers for this thing were great. Everything was great. The people in it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And the third act of that movie quite literally drives off a cliff. And I'm like, what just happened? It was so, like, it made the first 2/3 of the movie like
Waste.
almost a waste for me. Like if
That
that movie ended well, that would have been on my top 10. The way that the way that the first 2 acts went, don't worry,
That's
darling.
what stopped me from. That's what stopped me from even watching it because I just heard that it's just so disappointing. So I never watched it.
Too. That's mine.
Okay, Eric, movie that disappointed you the most.
So I have 2, but I'm gonna say the first one because the second one's obvious.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes, the second one.
That's a very obvious one between all of us. A very disappointing movie. So we won't go into that. Yeah.
The first one is Halloween Ends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It actually like I was trying to be apologetic about it, and then I watched it a second time, and I'm like, it really disappointed me, and then even disappointed me about the whole new trilogy that they made, which like with the first one I was so fucking happy about. And
so good.
Was so good.
I was like the second one I'm like, I get what they're trying to do, and then this one just fucking shit on my chest, and I'm like, no, I'm not down for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it had its moments, right? Like, it was bold, but it just like it fucking threw away a lot of what the whole Halloween thing is about to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. So for me, movie that took me by surprise, Evan, it was on your list. I think at number 10, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Like,
wait, this is the movie. This is the movie that disappointed you.
Oh my god, I completely just screwed it. Oh,
ruined it.
Yeah, I can't believe I just ruined it. I don't know why
Dude,
it's
I was
late, I
sitting
guess.
here and I was like, damn, that disappointed you, bro? God damn.
My bad.
I know it was on your list, but that shit was shit.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'll go back to back, so I'll get back to
Okay.
that one.
All
So sorry, movie that disappointed me. Blonde, directed by Andrew Dominik.
That was number 2. That was number 2 for me.
Fair.
That was
Yeah,
number 2 for me.
I was so excited about that movie just because I'm a big fan of Andrew Dominik. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I think it's a masterpiece. And when I heard Anna de Armas was going to play Marilyn Monroe, I was all in because she was honestly one of the best
She had a great
performances
year.
this year. Like,
Yep.
this performance was really good in the movie, but man, the movie was just so mediocre and like every way possible. It had a lot of controversy about it, but that's a different conversation. But just just so disappointing. I was just hoping for so much more, but yeah, it was not great. So Blonde.
All right, so now you're going to Surprised.
So I already mentioned mine by accident. Movie that took you by surprise. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Again, we kind of talked about it before. Loved it. So much fun. I had no idea it was coming into it. I was like, what is going to happen here? But oh man, just a blast. Just so much
good.
fun. So yeah.
I'll go to that would have been, had I not put that in the list, I think it would have been on there. It was number 2 for the ones that surprised me, but actually the one that most surprised me was on my list, and that's Vengeance.
Oh, nice.
Completely
Fair.
surprised.
I can't wait
good.
to check that one out.
Yeah, so good. And Ashton Kutcher, maybe one of his best performances in a while. Genuinely.
I didn't even know he was in that movie.
Ashton Kutcher's in Vengeance, maybe one of his best performances in a while. The most grounded performance I've seen from him. He's incredible in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even. I gotta see that movie. I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, definitely watch.
So movie that took me by surprise is on one of your lists. I can't remember. RRR. Which everything we said before. One of the most incredible movies I've ever seen in a long time. That's it. Just that's it.
Opening titles are at 40 minutes. So, yeah.
Incredible, dude. It's incredible.
Nice. All right. So, favorite scenes. So, Evan, I'll kick it back to you. What was in any movie this year? What was your favorite scene in a movie?
Okay, I'm excited about because we haven't talked about this one. We haven't talked about this movie yet. So, my favorite scene from any movie this year is the monkey slaughter from Nope.
Oh.
I didn't see Nope, which I fucking have to see.
Okay, so the movie itself, I enjoyed. Wouldn't put it on my top 10, but I don't think I was more scared or captivated than I was during that moment of the movie.
It was intense.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably the most tense part of any film I've seen this year for sure. And yeah, just incredible scene. It saved the entire movie for me.
Oh wow, yeah. I thought watching that movie twice this year. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't really like make me think any different the second time. But yeah, still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eric, what about you?
So I'm torn because 2 of the movies we've talked about that are on my list, and then 1 isn't. So I'm almost now inclined to talk about the one that isn't on my list.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about specific scenes. So if you want to talk about, because I want to talk about 2 really quickly that are on my list. So yeah.
So
all right. So
do the one that's on the list first.
All right. So I'm gonna pick this one because it's great. It's like wild to me. It's 13 Lives when they're getting them. Like you guys have, we've all seen this, right?
I haven't seen it yet, but it's okay. Go ahead.
All right. So
keep it brief.
I'll keep it as brief as possible. So when they start getting the kids out of the fucking cave, they have to get them in scuba gear and then inject them with ketamine. And then they strap onto them, and go 4 hours through this dark cave. And the first fucking time they do it, I'm like, are they fucking doing this right now? Like, is this really how they get these kids out of this fucking cave? And then they fucking do it 13 times. Ridiculous. All right, so the next scene is the Adam Project. And there's like 2 scenes in it, and this is how I know I'm getting soft at my age, but the scene where Ryan Reynolds is sitting at the bar and he's talking to his mom while she's having a moment, and then he essentially like has his moment with his mom. Right now it's giving me chills.
Yeah.
And then even later in the movie when he has that same moment with his dad.
Yeah.
And it's like the movie just hits you in your feels, dude. And it's like a family in your feels movie with sci-fi and action and with great actors, and it's fun and I love it. So didn't make the top 10, but
still
definitely an honorable mention. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So I already talked about earlier the opening of Athena. I won't mention anymore. Just amazing. But also the test run in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Like
dude.
so intense. Like
So
just
good.
super. Everything about it was just amazing. So intense. And
you
then,
mean when he does it?
when
right?
he
Like,
does it,
yeah.
when he's like, when John Hamm is like, why is there like a plane flying? So yeah, so good.
John Hamm is in that movie, bro.
Yeah.
So good.
And then pretty much the very, very end sequence of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio just hit me pretty hard. Yeah, very
Really? I didn't watch that.
I literally just watched it last night, but like it hit me. Yeah. Very good. So
word.
All right, so last one we have here, and then we'll just kind of go do a couple honorable mentions. Favorite performance of the year. So any actor, actress in any movie. So Evan, what about you? You go first.
All right, so I have a tie. I have a tie between Emma Thompson in Leo Grand and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, 2 excellent performances.
Yeah, I think it's, as a performer myself, to see someone like Michelle Yeoh go and play 100 different characters and play them perfectly, it's just a testament to how good she is. And it was incredible. And Emma Thompson, again, same reason, but like, not the same reason, but Emma Thompson for the reason of like, you're playing a character in one room for the entire movie. And you have to see that growth. It's incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually
Love it. Great choices. Eric, what about you?
So I'm gonna say for my best performance, I'm gonna give it already to like all the main people in the Batman, but which is obviously obvious. But the other one is Austin Butler and Elvis. Like he totally like embodied that fucking role, man.
Yeah.
And after that movie, I kind of did a lot of like lookups of him, of like the actual Elvis and doing it, and then his like recreation in the movie, and it's so spot on with like everything.
Yeah.
And that movie also just made me really fucking sad. Also, and to think about it, like that's like such a hard person to portray and like do. Yeah, man. So like his performance was like fucking incredible.
Nice. I still have not seen that. I haven't really had the desire to watch it.
Yeah.
So awesome. Good to know. I've heard he was excellent in it.
Yeah.
Cool. So my favorite performance is Rebecca Hall in Resurrection. Have you guys heard or seen this movie?
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it's a movie that hasn't been on too many radars. I finally just watched it within this past week to try to catch up. Pretty good movie. You know, I gave it like 4 stars. I think it's solid film, but her performance is so good. In this, and pretty much synopsis: a guy that used to be in her life comes back into her life, so she kind of plays like she's had a lot of trauma. So just seeing like, you know, she kind of she's so happy and, you know, everything's so great in the beginning, but then you just see like her just like completely change into someone else who's like, you know, just so good. She was really, really good. But yeah, that was my favorite performance of the year. So
beautiful.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. I want you to just kind of read off some honorable mentions. Don't, you know, maybe talk about like one, but you know, some that like might have just were so close to making the list. But yeah, they didn't make it. So Evan, what about you?
All right, I've got 4. I'm not even gonna name. I won't even say why. I'm just gonna say what they were. My 4 close ones were Glass Onion, Barbarian, Smile, which I loved.
I didn't see that.
I loved
So
Smile. Smile was a cusper for me right there.
Yeah.
And Violent Night. My God. Violent Night will be an every year Christmas movie for me for sure.
Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, those are my 4.
All right. Eric, go for it.
So I'll also say Violent Night. That's going to be a yearly Christmas movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with David Harbour even taking over being Thor. If that's a possibility. I'll take it. Beast with Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was surprisingly entertaining. Lightyear, a little more mature than I was expecting it to be in terms of a story. And then See How They Run, because everybody's doing a whodunit, and this one did it in a different way.
Nice.
Awesome. Sounds good. So yeah, for me, Glass Onion. I literally just took off Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Batman was on there for the longest time. Cha Cha Real Smooth. Oof, such a great movie if you haven't seen that one. Jackass Forever, 13 Lives. But the one I really want to mention is because we haven't really talked about too many documentaries besides Stutz this year. I was actually, there weren't too many documentaries. I feel like most people are just going the docuseries routes.
Yeah.
But on Disney Plus, Fire of Love. It's about a couple who were volcanologists. You know, they study volcanoes. They ended up passing away, but they just had like tons and tons of archival footage. And it's like, oh my God, beautifully shot, like, you know, from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Oh, it's so good. Eric, I feel like you would absolutely love this. It's called Fire of Love on Disney Plus. So I just watched that last night. So like, I feel like I couldn't really put that on the list because I'm still, you know, feeling it. But I needed to mention it just because it blew me away. So
I'm gonna go and watch it. I'll watch it by tomorrow.
Hour and a half, super easy watch too.
Burn through it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did it. This has been awesome. Just over 2 hours, which
not bad.
Great. Yeah. Guys, it's been so much fun chatting movies.
Same,
bro.
Same.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to do What'd You Think more often. I'm about to have like a second kid, so it's it's gonna make it even harder to even try to do this. But But yeah,
I
guys,
like it as a yearly thing though. Especially the year end thing.
I'm
I like
fine
that.
with it.
Yeah.
We should try to do a series one if possible for 2022. If that's too hard, then no. But I think there was like a lot of good television this year.
I have to go back because I didn't even watch because we did it last year, Eric, you and I, TV shows. I have to go back to even see what I watched because I don't even know what's out there. So,
all right, maybe we'll reconvene.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. Well, this has been fun, guys.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
yeah, man.
Well, hopefully we'll be back next year, maybe sooner. Who knows? So have a good night, everyone.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
Peace.